The Select Choice Engine helps retailers identify how customers choose between an assortment of products. The context of every customer's decision and being able to look at not just what they bought, but what was available to them when they made that selection. That context actually delivers very rich signal in terms of how an individual customers choose. Now, one of the key challenges that a retailer has is around this problem of sparse data. Everybody talks about big data. Retailers have more data than they know what to do with. The problem is that when you're trying to identify the buying patterns of an individual customer, you may only have one or two data points from that customer over the course of a year, right? Think of how many times you've made a purchase at one of your favorite retail stores, right? It might be one or two, maybe three times over the course of a year. That's actually very sparse data in terms of being able to truly understand how that customer chooses. But when you can add in the context of a customer's decision, where we know what was in inventory and what was available to that customer, and identify with that inventory and that transaction information, that context, and also very easily layering in additional data such as browse history. An individual customer may look at 4 or 5 products on the website, but then put 1 or 2 of them into their shopping cart. That's context. They may have 3 or 4 products in their shopping cart. They may abandon 2 of them, but then purchase 1 of them. Again, that's context that helps you understand how that customer chooses. By bringing all that together with every single customer and every single transaction, we now have a very robust model that allows us to predict what's going to, based on customers' buying patterns, what the likely behavior will be in the future. And then be able to optimize on top of that to say, okay, based on this, what are the right products to put in front of an individual customer? Or more importantly, in what becomes much more complex for a retailer is when I need to add constraints in terms of I only have so much space and I only have so much inventory available to me. What are the best products to put into an individual location? We're helping them make those decisions that can lead to, anywhere from 5 to potentially 15% increase in in-store revenue. And when every retailer these days is looking for ways to increase their margin and increase revenue, particularly the revenue within their stores, this gives them something that frankly gives them an ROI that they can't find many other places. At the highest level, the problem that we're solving is what we refer to as the inventory portfolio optimization challenge, right? Retailers, the inventory number is the largest number on their balance sheet. If you ask any retail executive, what's on the top of their priority list, it's being more efficient with their inventory and inventory management, and increasing inventory turns, reducing markdowns, and reducing stockouts of products. That all comes back to having bringing the right inventory in. Now, when merchants and buyers within the retail within a retail organization are going out into market to buy products, an average size retailer, a particular buyer may have, they may have $500 million to spend on inventory on product. If you think of something as simple as a shoe buyer at a department store with $500 million to spend, they might need to bring in 100,000 SKUs to put that money into play. And when you think about what they need to buy, how much of an individual product, how that product is going to interact with other products, right? And the trade-offs, is it complementary, is it cannibalistic to another product, and how it fits in with the overall assortment. The complexity of that model it can be baffling, right? And the results of that and the implications of that is the way that these decisions are made today is basically with gut instinct and Excel, right? Because there's no real system that can handle the complexity to truly be able to manage within the constraints of I only have so much money to spend. I need to think about it in terms of the overall assortment that can handle that complexity until Select came along, right? So now we have a solution that can handle that complexity, that can help merchants and planners identify what products they should be bringing into their assortment, the buy quantification piece of it, which is how much of each product to buy, and then the allocation piece of it, which is where to put those particular products. Where we've had the most success over the past couple of years has been within soft lines, and in particular apparel retail. When you think about the challenge within fashion and apparel, a particular product that a merchandise manager may buy for their assortment, once you sell out of that product, it's gone, right? And then you're on to the next style, the next fashion, the new wave, the new design. And so identifying something that you've never sold before and predicting how well that you think that's going to sell, that's a hard problem to solve. And that's one of the core capabilities of the IP, being able to identify and predict something completely new based on all your past history and purchases to identify how well that product will sell in the future. And so fashion has been a really good market for us. Now we've moved also into hard lines as well and more replenishment type items. But some of the customers that we're working with today, Urban Outfitters, Anthropologie, Free People, Aldo, which is the shoe manufacturer and retailer in Montreal.